Eating disorder recovery is possible. Anyone with an eating disorder can fully recover, but everybody's journey is going to look a little bit different. So I want to go over today 5 different tips that may support you in your journey to recovery. First and foremost, seek support. In an ideal world, you would have a multidisciplinary team of a physician, a therapist, and a dietitian, and all of those people you would work with during your journey to recovery. Now, I understand that not everybody has access to all of that, but even having a therapist and a physician, or a therapist and a dietitian, or something like that, a combination of those 3 can be really, really helpful. Also, and I realize again that not everybody has this kind of support, but if you have family members or friends that can support you through this, that's really important. One of the biggest things that the eating disorder likes to do is tell you, you can do this on your own, you don't need everybody else. That's the eating disorder's way of isolating you. That's the eating disorder's way of trying to get you to stay in your eating disorder. We want to ignore that idea that I can do this on my own or I don't need support. Having these people in a treatment team, family members, friends, or a combination of all of them is going to be integral into your recovery. Number 2, and I know this one is a lot easier said than done, but I want it to be in the forefront of your brain, is giving up that control. A lot of times eating disorders are all about control, right? And yes, that can manifest into controlling food or body, but it's a lot of other things going on. So when it comes to recovery, we want to try to give up that control, especially the control over your treatment, right? It's very common that I work with individuals who are trying to control what we're trying to do in their recovery, meaning, I will only do this if my body doesn't do blank, or, always having these sort of stipulations that they'll only recover if. That's the eating disorder talking, and we want to move away from that. We want to do our best to give up control and really put your recovery in the hands of your treatment team. Now, of course, yes, you're in the driver's seat and you're the person who's in charge of recovery in terms of what you have to do and the things that we have to work on, but we want to give up that control that your eating disorder is fighting so hard to keep. Number 3, along similar lines, allow your body to fully heal. Now, what I don't want you to do is get hung up on a weight goal, right? Now, a lot of times people are given a weight goal and they're said, you need to get to this weight and then you're good, right? We don't want to hang up on that because your body may not be fully healed. As we've talked about in many of our case studies, your metabolism could still be low, your hunger cues might not be back, your energy might not be back, your muscle mass could still be low. There's lots of things going on. So we don't want to try to be obsessed with a certain weight or size. We want your body to fully heal, however that may be. Now, I know it's really scary that we're, again, giving up a little bit of that control and trying to realize that your body will change during recovery, but it's going to be a huge factor in actually getting back all of the way that your body should be functioning that may have been damaged from the eating disorder. Number 4, remember that recovery is not linear. There may be times that you relapse. If you're someone who's maybe dealing with binging or purging or diet pills or laxatives or something like that, you may use some of those behaviors. That's okay. We don't want to go into this like, I'm never going to purge again. That might not be true. You might purge again, but hopefully we have better coping mechanisms in place so that it's not your go-to coping mechanism at the time, right? So recovery isn't linear. There's going to be relapses in restriction or any behavior that you're using, and that's okay, but we're going to continue to work on progressing towards full recovery. And lastly, and this is something that you can be working on throughout all of your recovery and even after, is working with your team, most notably your therapist, to figure out who you are outside of your eating disorder. One of the biggest things with eating disorders is that oftentimes that becomes someone's identity. They don't know who they are without their eating disorder. They've always had the eating disorder. They've always been someone with an eating disorder, and they feel like that is them. Sometimes they can't even separate that the eating disorder is something different. So we really want to learn who you are outside of your eating disorder, because you can have a full and amazing life without this eating disorder doing all of the things that it's doing. And we really want to learn that as a motivator for recovery. So these are some tips that you can definitely use. Of course, there's lots of different ways that recovery is successful and lots of different ways that people recover, but these are things that I see with a lot of individuals that are sort of across the board really, really helpful. You can do it. Remember, you deserve treatment. Seek the help that you need. There's no such thing as needing to be sick enough. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.